Good to go. Should be live about now, maybe. I just want to make sure everyone's set up properly. Where's live studio? Let's go to there. And let's go to the live control room. And then that should be everything sorted. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I'm worried about the news that's coming out. They'd spoken about it before, hadn't they? They'd spoken about what they wanted to do, and it had come up before that there was plans for European Super League. I'm just gonna, before I get stuck in, I'm just gonna leave it a wee while, see if people join or whatever, and then we'll get properly stuck in. We're gonna be using the BBC Sport article to kind of have a look and see what all the details are. But I'm worried, guys. I'm worried. Very worried, indeed. We've got that. We'll for now we'll put that down. Adam says could ruin football, make it a very American sport. This is kind of what I'm worried about. There's my understanding of the whole setup is that it's there's no competition, so no relegation. It'll just be the same teams every season, which would mirror. It would be like a club version of the Six Nations, if you know what I mean. But I've seen some worrying stuff in terms of the names that have come in. I've just been sent an article that says that Newcastle would be a seventh team who would back it if they get the support of their six clubs, which doesn't surprise me at all because the club's a joke. But I've got mixed emotions, right? I'm kind of so you start this Super League, right? Still gonna shoot in. Still, I mean, great asset, wouldn't they? They'd be a great asset. Here's my biggest worry, right? There was 12 teams, I think, if my understanding's correct. 12 teams that had signed up. 5 or 6 of them were English. Man City, up until this morning, hadn't agreed, and then they did this morning. They did agree this morning. So the problem really is, for me, that you have a majority English contingent wanting to join this European Super League, and that's because the way the Premier League operates is that everybody gets an equal split of the TV money, or at least a more equal split than what your Liverpool, Man Uniteds believe they should be getting. So they sort of feel like we draw on the most fans, we should get the most money, which is what the system is in La Liga. And you look at La Liga, and it's not a very competitive league at all. In fact, it's it's the same teams every season. It's the same 3. What makes Premier League so special is that it's a competitive league, right? You look at Leicester now, who have been regular top 5, 6 for the last 3 seasons. West Ham have done a madness this season. Everton are signing players like Allen, James Rodriguez in. Um, well, Adam, Man City make it because they have the money. Yeah, it's kind of as simple as that. Um, they have the money to do so, so why wouldn't they? Really, um, I think it would be silly if you're doing a European Super League, right? And let's say theoretically this happens, it would be stupid to not have Man City in because they have the money, right? Um, it ju- it seems very selfish to me. Like I don't see the benefit. There honestly is part of it. It's like frig them, right? They can go and do their thing. They can go and do their thing. Um, and you leave the Premier League teams in who are left, and you maybe I don't know. They go and they get punished. I don't know if you've seen Gary Neville's rant. His stance on it. He was spot on. He was spot on. Um, with what he said, and I know there's a bit of people are very cynical about what Gary Neville has to say because he's got vested interest with Salford in League Two, and obviously these teams leaving would have an impact on other leagues. Don't get me wrong, I get that, but he was saying it from a Man United point of view, right? And I think it's an absolute disgrace, as Karthik says. It is absolutely disgraceful. Um, I feel like I'm rambling because Karthik sent me on Twitter an article, and I mentioned this kind of at the start, that was saying that Newcastle will be the seventh club. Why? I mean, I get why you do it because there's no relegation, so you've got nothing to lose. From Newcastle's point of view, you can be in that European Super League if you want, and you're not going to lose because you know you can't lose because you can't get relegated. You can't. I don't. But here we are. It's let's properly chat about it. And guys, I'd love to hear from you. So get your thoughts in the chat. Thanks so much for coming. According to my thing here, there's 7 of you, which is insane. So thank you very much for watching. Get your thoughts in the chat. And let's have a good proper discussion about this because I can't believe it, honestly. Bruce Ball would get massacred. Look, it's fine though because we can't get relegated, so there's no dramas. Let me just check. Still 1-0 in the FA Cup to Leicester, by the way, if you're wondering what the score is there. Yeah, so where are we then with all this stuff? Let's have a look at the article. Hopefully you can read this okay. How is that for the art for readability wise? Can everybody see that okay? Is it a bit unclear? I'm just going to read from that. We can go through the thing, or we can. I suppose I can maximize it. My face has disappeared, but it's this is kind of the point. Is we just want to chat about this and read the article and then kind of properly deep dive and discuss. UEFA and the Premier League have strongly condemned 12 major European clubs, including the Big Six ring. This is what I think is mental. 12 clubs and 6 of them are English. Nuts. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, United, and Spurs are part of the group. And also Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Juventus. UEFA had hoped to head off to look 36-team Champions League set to be confirmed on Monday, which I also think is crazy as well, but that's not really the point. Yeah, let's see what else they're saying here. Yeah, like this is what's really interesting. Bundesliga proposed because the German rule means commercial investors can only have a maximum 49% stake in the club. What am I doing? I'm being silly. Yeah. And PSG haven't joined either, which is interesting, but I think it's their owners part of the group or something. So from the get-go, I don't think this is going to happen. So I personally don't think it's going to happen. I think it would be stupid for this to happen with the outcry there's been today. It has been great to see the levels of outbursts and support, or not support, like against this. But you're looking at some of the things that's going to happen. UEFA can sue the clubs, and these big clubs could lose a lot of money. There's been so many articles about if they were to go out, if they were to like leave, then and if it was to fail, a lot of these big clubs would be bankrupt. Players can't play at the World Cup. There's no way, in my opinion, it's going to happen. There's no way. It's a big enough concern, though, that these clubs are willing to go this far. They're like, as a matter of principle, almost, they're kind of willing to. What's the word? They're willing to put themselves out there and have the intent of saying, we want to create this league. Your comment's showing now, Adam, Lana. I don't know what your comment was before, though. Let me see what all's being said. American Yanks, big money owners, and Real Madrid are going to kill the game. Well, it's already happened, hasn't it? It's already happening. PSG don't want to join because their money advantage will be destroyed. What was the one above, Adam? What was the comment above? You've got 60 billion euros, like nuts. The clubs would be screwed then, wouldn't they? They'd be absolutely screwed. Can't even afford Ben Davies. So here's what I think the problem is, and I sort of briefly mentioned this, but this is kind of the point, right? The Premier League clubs, your top clubs, your Liverpool, your United, your Arsenal, who, I mean, what? They feel like they should be getting a lot more TV money than Brighton, Burnley, Sheffield United, etc., because more fans worldwide watch them. I would say Karthik's a perfect example of this. You know, Karthik is a Liverpool fan who will watch the Liverpool games and some other games, to be fair. And he's an international viewer, right? He's an international viewer. He's a big Liverpool fan, and you know, he will watch Liverpool games. They're going to say, we have a bigger reach worldwide. We want more revenue for the fact that we pull in more fans, all that kind of thing. I don't know if this is a play. I mean, it can't be just a play from the English teams because you have your 3 Italian teams and your 3 Spanish teams in there. But like, you're a Chelsea fan. If they do this, I'm done with the club. How dare they think they can mug off the fans? Absolutely disgraceful. Do you know what, Adam? I absolutely agree with you, 100%. Like, I get your feeling. I'm a Newcastle fan. I don't know if you know me. I'm a Newcastle fan, and there's conversation that they could be a 7th team, which also is ludicrous. But if that happens, I will be. I would be vocal about it. I would be. I think the best thing you can be as a fan is vocal right now. If you have a real problem with how things are going, you need to be vocal about it. You need to be saying that you're not okay with all this, because it isn't okay. It isn't okay. And I think the best thing is that you know, yeah. And you're right, Karthik. Your bigger teams reach further, right? Manchester United have one of the biggest fan bases in the world, the majority of which are what? Like, the majority of the fans are in, as you say, Karthik, Asian. They're in Asia and America. They don't actually have any sort of link to these clubs. These are the fans that are watching the games now. I don't know. They are treating other 14 clubs like crap. But Gary Neville just said, strip them of their titles, do all this. I don't. Can you do that? If you? This is a question I have as well. If you threaten these top clubs with their titles being stripped off from them, do you think that would impact their decision? Because I keep saying the clubs. It's not the clubs. It's the owners of the clubs. It's the guys with money. It's the investors. It's your business groups. It's all that kind of thing. They want more money. Ultimately, they're in the football game to make money. It's a business for them, obviously. They're businessmen or women. It's a business. Um, I would say the managers and players are probably going to be against this, but they don't have a say because it's the owners. It's not even the club. This is where I think it's so difficult. It's not even the club as a whole. It's not the fan base. It's not the players. It's not the staff. It's your greedy billionaire owners who want nothing more than to make a bit of quick money, and get into this. And Adam, I think you're right. It wouldn't stop them because it was in the past. They only look forward. There's that. What difference does having 4 Premier League trophies mean whenever you don't get that money now? And I would say, let's say this happens. Let's say this legitimately happens, which I don't think it will, but let's say it legitimately does happen, right? This legitimately happens. I think you're gonna see players walk, players and staff. As Karthik said there, Klopp walks, right? I would agree with him. I think there are managers who would be like, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. This is not on. I don't think it is going to happen. I think they've done this. Apparently, there's going to be an official announcement at 9:30. Apparently, UK time. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I've read online. But surely, there's no way. Surely, there's no way this goes through. I just don't see how it goes through. It makes me it makes me slightly sick. It really does. So many of these owners are American, and they're used to their franchises. You've got your NFL, your NBA, as Karthik said. Let me just check the score. Still 1-0 Leicester. They've got their franchises. They're used to that kind of model, the franchise model. Football's never been like that, and football should never be like that. The beauty of the Premier League, maybe I'm biased, right? I do think the Premier League is the best league in the world. Pardon me. I think it's the best league in the world, because you have that competition every year. Every year there's competition. There's a team that will finish 6th or 7th every year that are kind of a bit unexpected. So I'm thinking Wolves. I'm thinking Everton. This season I'm thinking West Ham. There's that excitement, right? Or even in the negative, right? Even in the negative sense, you've got Liverpool, who last season absolutely destroyed the league, right? Destroyed the league. And this season have struggled, right? I don't think there's really any league wherever you get such a competitive element, like such a competitive side of the league that would like just taking that is crazy to me. And if this whole power play is to try and get more money to the top teams, the richer get richer, the poorer get poorer. Your League Two teams will always be in League Two. There's never going to be, there's never going to be that dream that one day they'll maybe reach a championship or the Premier League, because the gulf in class between these top teams and your teams below is going to be so much heavier, right? You look at Sheffield United, right? Prime example. I think they went from League One to the Premier League in 3 seasons, something like that. You bring in this richer, poorer get poorer model. Teams like that might not work the way up, or if they do work the way up, they'll go straight back down. You won't get a Sheffield United performance like last season. You just won't get it. Sorry, I've missed a bit of chat, but I've just been kind of ranting away. Players born in the club, for example, Trent, like he grew up wanting to win the Premier League for his clubs, and the owners are stripping that away from him. Yeah. That's it. I think your homegrown players. Well, I think most players. If you go and play the Premier League, you're not going to the Premier League to play in the European, the Champions League. A lot of players go to the Premier League for the Premier League. The Premier League's got that reputation. I don't think players like James or Allen would be playing for Everton if they didn't think they could compete. Right? These are guys, James has played for Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. He's then gone to Everton because it's the Premier League. There's Ancelotti. I don't know. Yeah. Clubs like Liverpool, United, who pride themselves on the people and the fans. Yeah, totally. And that's what Gary Neville was talking about. He was talking about how then Karthik's in. They're all imposters. Exactly. You look at I'm gutted. You look at the fan, right? So you look at these big clubs. It's all about you. The players will talk about the fans or the community or the club or that kind of atmosphere. But you are just ignoring that by doing this European Super League. No doubt about it. Man, it's kind of coming to nowhere today, right? It's just kind of all spiraled and snowballed, and it's got more and more heat as the day's gone on. Like, I didn't really know anything about it this morning, and then a couple of hours ago, then it all just started kicking off. Personally, from my point of view, if Newcastle were to join, I'd be furious. I mean, would I? No, I wouldn't say I'm done with the club, but I don't know. So my issue is going to be that if this European Super League was to happen, people would still watch, right? People would still watch, because we are easily entertained. I say easily entertained, right? This game it's on behind me. Leicester Southampton. I know football's about entertainment. That has not been an entertaining game, right? And that's fine. But we're so fickle with football that we'll watch whatever gets put on TV. Companies like Sky have monopolized the Premier League coverage pretty much to a degree. They've certainly got less of a hold now because of BT Sport. They had monopolized the Premier League content, and that's where all the money's coming in. That's where all these investors are coming in. I don't know. Like, the Champions League special because you get different fixtures every year. You get really interesting quarterfinal. Barcelona PSG, not Barcelona PSG, Bayern Munich PSG. Your quarterfinal this year was your final last year, right? That's interesting. That's intriguing. You play the Super League. It's the same games every year because it's just the same 12 teams. What is the point? It might be nice for one season, but like the next season, like, oh, great. Liverpool are playing Atletico Madrid again, right? The reason that Europe's special is because it's an event, right? The Champions League is an event. You work towards getting to that goal. You work towards top four, even Europa League for some teams. Let's say West Ham bottle Champions League and get Europa League. That'll still be a big deal for West Ham, right? That'll be a big, big deal for West Ham. They've worked their way. They've had a fantastic season. Their reward is European football. That is their reward. That's their reward. They deserve to play the best teams. They might get smashed on a weekly basis. But they've earned the right to play in that top level competition. Andy. It's all about money. It's all about money. But it comes down to a principle. Mark Goldbridge had a great kind of discussion about this today, and he was saying, even if the clubs back out and say we were wrong, that doesn't change the fact that they had the intent of wanting to do this. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change a thing. Just think about that, right? They might pull out because we've all gurned and cried and shouted. But at the end of the day, they wanted to do it. Any chance of it coming through, there's a decent enough chance. What UEFA and FIFA will do is they'll absolutely tear it apart, as they should. The fact of the matter is, a letter of intent was sent from... So each club that wanted to get involved had to send a letter of intent, which means we want to do this, right? We want in. And they were United, City, Liverpool. Although City only this morning, interestingly, so they weren't until they came in today. It doesn't make them any better, by the way. United, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs. Spurs? Who cares? No offense. Spurs? What? Spurs are rubbish. I don't even think that's an unfair thing. They've been crap. They've been total crap. And the other 6 teams are Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Juventus. Spurs aren't on those 11 teams. And not even Arsenal. Not even Arsenal. You've got 10 teams there that are on a good level. Right? You've got those 10 teams without Arsenal and Spurs are probably at a similar level to each other, right? Arsenal and Spurs, you're only in because you're only wanting in because you've got rich owners. Stan Kroenke, what's your man's name from Spurs, who played the sympathetic role in the documentary? You'd rather see Newcastle than Spurs. Yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather not see Newcastle in, to be honest, Adam. I'd rather not. Arsenal not played Champions League for 4 years, and that's the point. Arsenal and Spurs, 2 mediocre teams, and I know I'm a Newcastle fan, and I'm saying that and dishing out and all this and what have yous and blah blah blah. 2 mediocre teams. Imagine European Super League. Daniel Levy, Kartik, that's the one. This Super League, how about a not so Super League, right? Because Arsenal are not that level, Spurs are not that level. Oh, it beggars belief. Honestly, it really does. It really does. By the way, if you're watching the stream, make sure to give that stream a fat thumbs up. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, do subscribe. Cheap plug, you know what I mean. Got to get the admin in. But I had to come on. I was going to. The plan was to do a match report, a roundup of the FA Cup, kind of Chelsea, the game yesterday and today, right? Both games were so poor. And I was like, I'm not going to do a video on that. And this news was breaking, and I thought I could speak about this for ages. Let's get on YouTube. Let's go live and let's chat to you guys, because I want to hear from you. I love hearing from you about your thoughts, because it makes a difference, right? Just checking the score. Still 1-0 the Leicester. Still 1-0 the Leicester. For anyone who cares. But yeah, like, flip. It's just crazy where it's come from. And then you have people who are actually defending it. I just don't understand. Crooked FIFA is going to tell teams not to do anything that will benefit them financially. That's funny. You do make a point, right? Jorge, is that your name? You do make a point, right? But I don't think this is going to benefit the teams financially at all. I really don't. I don't at all. Honestly, I think it's actually going to harm them more. I think if this was to go through, fans would totally rebel. It's just it creates a bigger monopoly on football, and that's what I don't think that's what anybody wants. Not anybody I know of or have spoken to anyway. Some guy said the Super League should have stories like WWE. Me and Luke would love that. That would be great. But yeah, it's flip. It's just it's not right. It's not right. It's not right at all. Like these clubs don't need more. They don't need more. The clubs don't need more. The big clubs don't need more. Oh no, we can't afford to sign Sancho and Messi in the same transfer window. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. It shouldn't be a monopoly. Football shouldn't be a monopoly. The German model is perfect. The German model is perfect because 51% of the club's owned by the fans. 49% is owned by investors. Therefore the fans make the decisions, which is what football should be. It should be ultimately, I think decisions should be made by the fans. If it helps sign Mbappe, is it worth it? Oh, sorry, if it helps sign Haaland, is it worth it? Yes. No, of course not. Of course not. But yeah, just crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff. I think that's the game there. Leicester through to the final. Chelsea-Leicester FA Cup final. So the Bundesliga is dominated and exploited by Bayern, but that's because of the TV thing. So that's the same reason as La Liga. It's because the bigger teams get the TV rights. They get more viewers, more whatever. Therefore, the rich get richer, and the poor continue to get poorer. Which is why I think the equal TV rights thing is ideal, because then a lot of clubs are put on an equal footing, and then that brings about better competition, which I personally think is a good thing. I think you need to have competition. But Bundesliga is boring, right? Like the Bundesliga is boring because it's going to be pretty much Bayern every year. Like the French league is boring because it's PSG every season. With Mbappe and Neymar. The Premier League's unique because it's competitive. There's an edge there, But anyway, they were my thoughts. I'm going to make sure and save this as a public video, so that people can come back and read this. So if you are watching this back as a VOD or video on demand or whatever, make sure and comment below what your thoughts are, because I think it's a discussion that we need to be having. And as always, make sure and give a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. But they were my thoughts. Thank you to you guys who were live with me and chatting away and giving your thoughts in. I think it's safe to say that I'm not the only one who feels worried about all this. I think with what some of the things that you guys have been saying, or something that I've been seeing online, it's clear to me that a lot of people are worried. But yeah, they were my thoughts on this whole situation. And I'm not sure what the deal is for me video wise. Probably be back during the week for the Premier League roundup, something like that anyway. But have a good week, guys. Stay safe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you at some other stage. If there's if news comes out about this further, we'll be back on. We'll be reacting and chatting about it. But yeah, have a good rest of your night, guys, and I will see you